We're in Shanghai for another round in the FEMC. Iron Badness on pole from Bravo and JD Venter. Then it's Daniel Baltasarov, Marcus Nelson still yet to score. Then it's Solos Kynes. B Dragon Sonic is in 7th. Then it's Enoch Huey, Daph Sanchez, and MF1 World. Then it's David Camino once again in 11th from Bob and Jacko Tigranes. UK Ball only 14th after that shocker last time out. Then it's Leo, Akari, Pastor Maldonado, Yuki Suo, Theodore Schumacher, Mahavir Gunnison, Neil Reyes, and Seb Ocampo. Ninth round in season 13 with Iron Badness on pole by only 1/1000th of a second. All 5 lights go on. We go to green in Shanghai, and that's a pretty even start in the top 2. Raver will have the inside line going into turn 1 and to try and break that Volkswagen sandwich. And yes, the Italian does take the lead here in Shanghai coming out of the first turn. Maldonado with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with everyone in the lower part of the grid shuffling to full position. The other hyperdrive car, as he did last time out, B-Dragon Sonic on the hard tires, bogged down and by the car ahead, and out of the race, up ahead has gone Marcus Nelson. Daph Sanchez hits the back of the Lamborghini Mako car, and it will be another non-scorer for Marcus Nelson in this nightmare of a season for the Danish driver. How he's gone 9 races with a very impressive qualifying results in a lot of them without scoring a single point goes beyond the realm of fiction. It is improbable. Virtual safety car ending then. And Ravo is leading the way from Solos Kynes, Iron Badness, and Enoch Huey. And it's JD Venter, Bob Desar of MF1 World, Camino, Bob, and Sanchez, your top 10. Looking further up front, Solos Kynes, he could look for a lunge down the inside, not quite close enough to do that. Takes to the grass. That is David Camino, who's gone a little bit wide there. UK Ball up into P10. Now, as look at the midfield spread, B Dragon Sonic gets past UK Ball and Daph Sanchez to take 10th place, defying the hard tyres. But he's got the outside line coming into turn 1, so UK Ball could do the switchback. And is that switchback happening for the Prix? We're looking at this, and I think B Dragon Sonic has switched back on the switchback. So he currently still has P10, but then into the run into turn 4, he's going to have to hold a lot more than that to hold P10, and he's dropped down to P12 as UK Ball up ahead has gone past Bob, who now once again does the switchback. This track encourages great racing. If you want great racing, don't leave this race at any point. B Dragon Sonic almost got passed by Kari there, retakes that 12th position. This is looking to be the championship leader's worst race of the season. Outside of Simonton almost retiring from the race was the other Lamborghini Mako car of Jacko Tigranes. There is the number 2 following Leo and B Dragon Sonic, who's just been passed by the Pinnacle car. Tigranes gaining still on the 2 cars ahead of him. As further up front, JD Venter has gone a position there, and that is Seb Ocampo up into 15th place. Ocampo with the medium tires, he could try and take the position from B Dragon Sonic on the outside. David Camino up in, who's currently in 5th with Boss Slap, and there goes Seb Ocampo, sitting past the Celebrity Prix up into 14th for the Andretti driver. Well, the hot tire runners right now, as we go into lap 3 of 14, high lap, by the way, it's all about, currently for the hard tire runners, going as long into the race. I'm going to predict this, they're probably going to pit it around when the soft tire runners make their second stop currently. And that's how they'll try and get an advantage. Looking at B-Dragon Sonic, just trying to predict where he'll come out after his pit stop. If he does try and follow that strategy, he will probably be around P10 as Ocampo there, sending out the 2 Pinnacles. Ocampo with a 5-second time penalty because he's just banged wheels, and that is Jacko Tigranes, who has just clipped the wall. Anyway, Ocampo has dropped to 13th. Sanchez got past, and he's got a 5-second time penalty because he banged wheels. bit scrappy coming through these turns. JD Venter has been passed by David Camino, looking to the hairpin, looking behind with Leo, and he's trying to pull away from the hyperdrive car, still with that oncoming helmet. As into the pits comes Raymo, and many other of the race leaders. Sakari's also in, and Tigranes is in for damage, and Maldonado currently in last place in the number 99 car. So it's the two Volkswagen Formula E team cars running 1 and 2 from Manot QE and Daniel Bogdasarov. And then it's MF1 World, UK Bob, Sebo Campo, Leo, Dav Sanchez, Leo, and B Dragon Sonic going on board with the 44 car. And I don't know if he can realistically hope to make an overtake on the Pinnacle car ahead of him. The tyres on that hyperdrive car don't promote overtaking at all. UK Bowl with the track limits warning, likely trying to get past Bob. So there they are, side by side, the Renault and the Brawn, the other Renault car with the track limits warning. So that is Bob and Sebo Kamen trying to get past Ravo, trying to get past UK Bowl here. Down the inside goes Bob, sending it very deep into the turn. I think he might have clipped the front wing. Yeah, I think he just maybe hit the front wing of UK Bowl, but there was not any major damage. And oh, someone's gone off at that turn. I cannot see. It was Theodore Schumacher who is coming into the pits on the slap. B-Dragon Sonic has stayed out in 7th place. He is the championship leader by some margin. And we're running on board with Bob. So the hard tire runners in this race are currently MF1 World Bob, B-Dragon Sonic, and Mahavir Raghunathan. And yeah, I'm not too sure how well those hard tires will perform come races end if anyone does decide to pit back onto them. However, if it does begin to rain, not pitting is your best option if it does begin to rain. So on board with Dav Sanchez, he's gone very deep into that turn. And Salas Kynes and Ravo on the back of Mahavir Raghunathan. On board with the Italian we go, and he sends it down the inside of Salas Kynes, making the most of a mistake made by the Spanish driver. And you know what? He's going to take P8 as well, up into 8th place for the Italian. Looking around the track, MF1 with the 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. Dav Sanchez almost hits the wall, just about staying out of it. And Bob now leads the race because many other drivers have come in. Fabulous, Bogdasarov and Sanchez all in the pits now. And Raghunathan's dropped down quite a bit as Bogdasarov out of the race in the pit lane. I think that's the wall of pit entry. So it's a virtual safety car with 8 laps remaining. Your running order is currently Bob, MF1 World, B Dragon Sonic, Bob, MF1 World, Ocampo, B Dragon Sonic, and Ravo, your top 5. And let's just take a look at MF1 World steering wheel for a second. It is 46% tire wear, 46%. So those hard tires are done for now, if you ask me. Oh, he almost races the wall. Into the wall has gone Sebo Campo. Sebo Campo on the medium tires has gone into the wall with B Dragon Sonic. He's going to be passed by his teammate here, I believe. So that's going to be a forced pit stop for the championship leader, JD Venter, with a track limits warning. So coming through the chicane as well is Leo. With 8 laps to go, we've seen a little bit of chaos up front, and Sebo Campo swerving, and he hits the wall. Sebo Campo in the barriers. B Dragon Sonic luckily also not into them, so Bob stays out for another racing lap. MF1 World is into the pits. It's Ravo stays out, Ocampo is in, B Dragon Sonic is in. The only hard tire runner who has decided to stay out. No, that's half of them have stayed out. Bob and Raggy Nathan have both stayed out, but Ragunathan is losing positions on a dime, and B-Dragon Sonic, he's going to come out in last, isn't he? That is last place for the championship leader. He's on soft tyres, but he's 23 seconds off the lead, which is basically race over if he can't do too much about that. We're going to go on board with Rover. His tyres are looking pretty bad. So you know what, don't count out the hard tire runners just yet. There might be something in the bag still left for them. They're not quite left for dead yet. Coming through this tight turn that opens up on exit, turns 12 into 13 with the race leaders on board with Canlo. And Arcuri, he defended the inside line there. I think they'll both get DRS because of Charlotte's current ahead. But there goes David Camo. He takes it, Arcuri, he takes Carlos side. Does he try and take Ridley's position? Not quite. He's gone very deep into that turn. But he does take P3 at the end of the day. And Bob has come into the pits. Into the pits comes David Camo and an Arcuri from the top 5. And we've got a virtual safety car out of the race. Is Bob? And where is that Renault Edam's car? I don't see it. But he definitely went too long on those hard tyres and they just couldn't handle it. And that's going to allow those who are currently in the pits now to get what is effectively a free pit stop. That right there is not QE. And I don't remember where B-Dragon Sonic was in relationship to the Red Bull car. But now he's on soft tyres with 6 to the flag. And the sky does look quite a bit grey. And on board with Semo Campo in the number 76 car for TS Andretti. And he's on the back of Pastor Maldonado. Tries to look at the inside line, gets swerved out of the potential overtaking possibility. And Matt here, we're going to think it's been passed by MF1 World. The sky looks very dark. David Cameron with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision there. Maldonado gets passed by an Huey. And yeah, I think we might be up to see rain lights. Virtual safety car, Salas Kines is out of the Prix. And oh, into the pits comes Ravo Sanchez. It's Shady Venter but Ina Babinas has decided to stay out, so Babinas staying out. Look at how dark the sky is though. The possibility. Wait, Marvin Ragunathan is currently 7th. He comes into the pits now. We're going to stay on board. Comes out of the pits. Clean stop from Red Bull. He comes out of the pits now. We're going to stay on board with the Red Bull car. Comes out here with Jaco Tigranes, who's quite a ways away from him. B-Dragon Sonic has entered the top 10 now. There goes Akari! David Campbell with the 5-second time penalty for causing a collision just ahead of this pair, but Akari tried to send it on Ocampo. He took 9th from B-Dragon Sonic. Cameron, he's under threat from that DS Andretti and the Pinnacle car as well. These two drivers, Cameron and Ocampo, both with time penalties to their name. So fighting here, we're not out there race a single bit, and swerving there was Akari almost hitting the wall. Luckily for him, he just missed it. But imagine to whose detriment it would have been if there was a collision there. And I believe Ina Babner should be coming into the pits on this lap. He's leading the way and he does pit. And it's for the medium cutback of tires, almost slides into the wall there. Comes out of the pits. He's not going to be leading this race. That will be MF1 World, who was a hard tire runner, but currently has a 5-second time penalty to his name. We've got 4 more laps to go. Yuki Shuo sitting the fastest lap of the E3. MF1 World's got to pit soon. Does B-Dragon Sonic have to pit soon? Because he pit around the same time? Yes. That advantage from the hard tire runners swiftly it's erased when you take into account how much longer you have to go on those soft tires, which you do take immediately, because it just makes more sense. So Campo and Camino are still fighting over the position, and I think Sebo Campo has found his match. He's at a roadblock 6th place currently, and he's not close enough to make any sort of dive. Akari, however, he's looking for an additional position. He could take one here. And OU Cable going very wide in the wake of B-Dragon Sonic, former Mercedes teammates in Formula 1. And he's dragging him down the straight. That is 10th place for the number 89 car. Further up ahead, Ravo has gotten past MF1 mode. Many drivers who are struggling on their tires, weaving through this section of track, almost hitting the wall. Was Akari there? Everyone over, keeping it clean. MF1 mode into the pits. I'm going to go on board with Sebo Campo here. Just taking a look at his pit stop. B-Dragon Sonic also pitting on this lap. It's all safe from here. Theodore Schumacher up into 13th, braking there to let him through is Akari. And B-Dragon Sonic, he started 7th, went for an alternative strategy. And he now has to go the rest of the race on medium tyres. Can he salvage points? He's currently in 18th. I'll have to stick around to find out. JD Venter on the back of Daf Sanchez, the Rodin Motorsport car who won in Montreal. That black and white car with red R's. And he's currently pulling away from the Volkswagen car as well. Looking further back, UK ball on the back of his teammate. This shouldn't be too hard to do. Team orders should be in effect because this is not Camino's race. And that is P5 for the British driver, swerving through the section, almost hitting the wall there, but just about keeping it clean. Into the pits has come JD Venter on lap 12, and almost into the wall there. I think, yeah, that's Mahavi Raghunathan, who almost went into the wall there, as well as Mielrez. Raghunathan has pit with only a handful of laps left to go here in Shanghai. And Akari now should also gain positions due to the driver's pitting. Comes out ahead of David Camino. B-Dragon Sonic 2 seconds off the back of Camino. Points. What are those? I don't think he's thinking about them. A race win. This man is thinking about it though. Ravo currently leading the way, 2.1 seconds ahead of Daf Sanchez. He was currently 4 seconds ahead of this man, UK Ball. And everyone's going very deep through this turn. There goes Iron Badness up into 4th place for the Volkswagen driver. For those of you understand that yes, this is the race where your budget is being done. So for some of you guys, it's not quite ideal. Ravo coming through that penultimate turn, through the final turn he goes, and he decides to come into the pits. And we've got a VSC, but why are you? Not Kiwi out of the race. Jack Tigranes sliding through this turn, and Sanchez he's going to come into the pits now. It's been a 3-stopper for a lot of these drivers. We're going to stay on board with Daf Sanchez. Does Ravo roar along past? Yes, he does. And that is still only P2. So he's going to have to try and overtake that hyperdrive car somewhere else around the track. We've had the longest race of the year already. We've had the shortest race already. I do believe this is the longest race of the year. As I think someone's about to come into the pits. Is that Theodore Schumacher in? No, it's not. But on the penultimate lap here in Shanghai, Ravo, who, compared to his teammate this season, hasn't had the greatest of seasons. Ravo, the man from Italy, he currently leads the way in Shanghai, 2 seconds ahead of Daf Sanchez. Hyperdrive look to win this race. It's not the driver they expect. but it's the drive that they deserve. Akari has been passed, by the way, by David Camno, and F1 World gets another 5-second time penalty for colliding with Sebo Campo. And he's trying to take that 6th place. In fact, 5th is on the cards considering how much straight there is here. Ocampo's getting the slipstream from UK ball. Does he pull out? Like Camno behind him. He does not pull out, so Camno is ahead of MF1 World, but that seemed to be a little bit dirty. As on to the final lap goes Revo, but we're not following them. Following this bout, the P5. If with B Dragon Sonic, who's currently in P10, he's being hounded by Jaco Tigranes from the Philippines. And there goes Jaco Tigranes up into 10th place. And B Dragon Sonic has been shuffled down to 11th. He should still be in the points due to 10-second time penalties being handed out. And he's only 5 away from Camino for 1. But Ocampo with the fastest first sector of anybody. Looking to the front of the field though, it is still Revo. The number 7 car, lucky number 7, who comes through 3rd to last turn. Hyperdrive Racing, they came back from literally nowhere last season. This season they hit the ground running, and they look to end it by hitting the ground running. 5 rounds to go in season 13. And look who it is who'll take home the race win for the British-based team Hyperdrive Racing. The number 7 of Revo comes across the line in Shanghai and wins the Shanghai E3 and sets the fastest lap of the E3 with it, a 1:16.333. Babinis is his 3rd with Sanchez ahead of him. UK Ball has taken 4th place right there, setting a fastest 3rd sector in the process. Camino, his teammate, in 7th as Meal Rez has past B Dragon Sonic, who's dropped down to 13th. An absolute howler for the number 44 car who used to run in the 13 as we see Maldonado cut across the line. This is the podium then. Revo wins the Shanghai E3 from Dap Sanchez and Ahmed Babinis. Then it's UK Ball, JD Venter, Jaco Tigranes, and Sebo Campo. Akari is 8th with Milrez, Leo, and B Dragon Sonic running out the top 11. Then it's Yuki Shuo, Mahavira Gunathan, David Camino, Theodore Schumacher, and MF1 World, with Pastor Maldonado being the last classified finisher. Your non-finishers were Enoch Curie, Saras Kynes, Bob, Daniel Bogdasarov, and Marcus Nelson. The driver standings. Well, it's still the number 44 leading the way, but that lead is only 15 points to Sebo Campo. Then it's David Camino, UK Ball, Revo, could be staging a last gasp championship here. JD Venter, Ahmed Babinis, Daf Sanchez is your top 8. Then it's Jaco Tigranes, Daniel Bogdasarov, Saras Kynes, Leo, Bob, Inokiwi, Milrez, Mahavira Gunathan, Akari, Pastor Maldonado, Yuki Shuo, Theodore Schumacher, MF1 World, and Marcus Nelson, who's still yet to score any points after 9 rounds. The constructors' standings going into the next round in Rome, it is Hyperdrive Racing leading the way from Braun and DS Andretti. Then it's Volkswagen Formula E team, Rodin Motorsport, and Pinnacle Formula E tied with Jaguar. Then it's Renault FE, or Renault E-Nams, Red Bull Formula E team, Lamborghini Mako, and Skoda Volkswagen. We'll see you guys next time then for the Rome E3.